Hello everyone, welcome to the first ever episode of I Drink Your Milkshake with me, Neil.
And me, Joe, welcome.
With this first episode, we've already recorded it. However, just a little bit of a disclaimer, we have got some minor audio issues. We thought we'd highlight that. This week's episode is about There Will Be Blood. Hope you enjoy.
Get the next one wrong.
I drink your milkshake. I drink it up.
That's the sound of Joe pouring tea. Yeah, 2 sugars, is it, Joe?
2 sugars. Well, it's a flask, so there's 6 sugars.
6 sugars, we're going to need it for our first podcast. Okay, so here we are.
Here we are.
I Drink Your Milkshake, first episode.
Yeah, man.
Unbelievable. I Drink Your Milkshake, brilliant. Movie podcast, I guess, starring me, Neil, and...
Me, Joe.
Joe, yeah. The first episode we're going to talk about, the first film we're going to talk about, can't get my words out, is the wonderful There Will Be Blood. A couple of things before we get started and start waffling on about it, really. Directed by the wonderful Paul Thomas Anderson, who obviously has directed some wonderful films such as Inherent Vice. But then again, we're a bit split on that one, aren't we?
I just felt like I missed something.
It was weird. I think I told you before, didn't I? I watched that on a plane where I had no choice but to forced to be watching because I was on this plane for about 9 hours or something. I can't even remember where we were going, and that was the one and only time I watched it. More notably though, Magnolia, which is one of my favourite films of all time.
Yeah, I love that one.
Boogie Nights, fantastic.
That's probably the one I've watched the most, other than There Will Be Blood by Paul Thomas Anderson.
You like Boogie Nights?
Boogie Nights, yeah.
Is that because it's about porn? Or?
Yeah. No, I don't know. So, I like showing films to my fiancée, and she hadn't seen that one, so I showed her that one, and I haven't got round to the rest yet, but I just always like big nights. Not quite as much as There Will Be Blood.
Yeah. Did you see Phantom Thread, his last one, which also starred Daniel Day-Lewis? Yeah. Did you like that?
Yeah, I did. I thought it was... I think it shows that Paul Thomas Anderson can make a film out of anything that he wants to. And I thought it was brilliant. I thought it was great to look at. I love the music and the performances. I love... Is it Leslie Mann?
Leslie Manville, yeah.
She's fantastic.
She is, yeah. It's nice to see her in a film like that because I've seen her in Mike Leigh movies. She's in a film called All or Nothing. I don't know if you've seen that.
No, I've never seen that. I've only seen her in Mum, the sitcom.
Oh yeah, I've heard about this. It's good.
With what's his name?
Peter Mullen.
With Peter Mullen.
Oh, Peter Mullen.
Yeah.
Peter Mullen from that wonderful... Well, he's been in many wonderful films, but Tyrannosaur is the one that comes to mind straight away, really.
He's so lovely in Mum. He's just a lovely name, but
really?
He's like in love with her, and
yeah.
He's like so adorable.
I've only seen him as a very vicious character or a heroin dealer, to be honest with you.
Yeah, we watched that after Mum, so our hearts were shattered.
Yeah. It was released in 2007, but I might be wrong about this, but I'm pretty sure it came out in the UK in 2008 because in 2008's Oscar season, and we get them a little bit later.
Yeah.
And it was directly up against and lost to No Country for Old Men, which I'm pretty sure we've had a conversation about this in the past, but I fucking love No Country for Old Men.
Yeah. It's up there, man.
And not a million miles away from this film in terms of...
I think they were filmed at the same time in the same location.
Yeah.
I don't know much about it, but I'm pretty sure that the oil burning scene.
Yes.
In There Will Be Blood, the smoke carried over to the set of No Country for Old Men, and they had to close the shoot for the day or something like that.
This is true, yeah. This is in my trivia notes, but we'll jump ahead. Basically, it was during a test of that shot, so where the oil rig burns in that classic scene, which I'm sure we'll talk about later. Yeah. When they were testing it, the smoke blew over onto No Country for Old Men set, and the Coen brothers themselves had to stop filming for a day. No. A year and a half later, they're up against each other in the Oscars. Yeah. I'm trying to think what else. That was a really good year, but like I can't think what else it was up against.
Was the no, that was
the year before, I think that was, yeah.
Of course, that one, didn't it?
I don't know if it was the year of Juno, that one.
Shall I look it up?
You can do, yeah. So obviously Daniel Day-Lewis won Best Actor, and absolutely deservedly so. I think.
Yeah, we should have got 2.
He should have got 2. Yeah, it was an absolute knockout performance, and I've seen Daniel Day-Lewis in quite a few films, to be honest with you, and he's always amazing. But in my opinion, this is his best role, definitely.
Yeah, I really got a soft spot for Bill Butcher.
Yeah,
in
Gangs New York.
I really love that, but that's a bit more like stage dramatic, isn't it, than compared to There'll Be Blood?
Yeah, you could say so. Yeah,
just a bit more realism to Daniel playing here.
I mean, on that note, this is something that I picked up watching it recently. I think considering the style and substance that's in There Will Be Blood, and obviously Paul Thomas Anderson directing, it's an incredibly real film.
Yeah,
considering it's a period piece, and it's just shot. In terms of the cinematography, it's shot in a way that is like really kind of intimate.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So there's you think when you think of There Will Be Blood, at least prior to rewatching it, you think of these grand shots, and you think someone like Roger Deakins has shot it or something, but it's not really the case. It's actually quite very soft and intimate. You know.
I'd say it's still managed to feel like claustrophobic because they're in these little rural villages, like scattered around the desert. So you got the big open shots and all the open land, but it still seems like they're stuck in a small little place with a small little community, like with it's just about them, like,
Yeah, like just a group of people living amongst like some big kind of area.
Like it could be anywhere.
Yeah. I really quite like that about the film, but. Another thing that really struck me, and I this is a testament to the film in my opinion, but do you know what the duration for this film is? What do you reckon a guesstimate duration is?
Actually no. 2 hours and 45.
Close, 2 hours and 38.
Ooh.
But do you feel like it's that long? Because I don't.
No.
I feel like it's like 2 hours. I don't think it's got that 38-minute extra on it. It's just.
No, it's just you just can't look away. So I don't think. You just think about how long it is while you're watching it. I don't think about anything else while I'm watching that film.
Yeah.
Especially at the time when I first got, because I never saw it at the cinema. I was a young teen, and I got it on DVD, and I watched it 4 times the first 4 days that I owned it. Like it just blew me away.
Really?
Yeah, I think it was one of those like pinnacle films for me that really like got me into. Just like analysing everything that I watched. yeah,
basically. Yeah. I know what you mean. Yes, that was the turning point for you. I was lucky enough to see it in the cinema, and I remember thinking this is absolutely fantastic, of course. But every time I watch it, it gets better. Yeah. It really does.
Yeah.
Obviously, the actors, we've spoke about that. Daniel Day-Lewis, obvious, absolute killer. Something I noticed in this film, unless you can think of a scene otherwise, I can think of one. For a 2 hours and 38-minute film, he's in every single scene. There's only one, and it's probably about not even 20 seconds, 10 seconds long where he's not, and that's when HW and Mary get married right towards the end.
Oh, really?
Do you remember that scene?
Yeah. That's the only scene he's not in.
That's the only one I could pick. I don't know if you can you can think of anything, but
I can't think of anything else. No.
Yeah. Paul Dano,
yeah,
absolutely unbelievable. The only film I'd seen prior to There Will Be Blood that Paul Dano starred in, which is probably the case for most people, is obviously Little Miss Sunshine, where he said nothing.
Yeah, I saw that after, actually. I saw Little Miss Sunshine after I saw There Will Be Blood.
Yeah.
So I was really impressed to see him, rather than seeing him as the quiet kid growing into that horrible preacher guy. I saw it the other way around and I thought, man, this guy's the shit, man.
He really is, isn't he?
I think he's wicked.
I'm trying to think of other Paul Dano films I've seen.
Swiss Army Man, did you see
haven't seen that. Daniel Radcliffe.
That was really good, yeah.
Does he play the lead in that?
Yeah.
That's interesting, isn't it, with a name like Daniel Radcliffe?
Yeah. It's fucking wicked, man. I think he's really good. He's just directed a film, hasn't he?
Has he?
He's just directed it's Jack Gyllenhaal.
I know what you're on about. Yes, I can't think.
Or something like that. It's about wildfires. Or
Wildfire. That's it. Yes. You're right. Yeah, that slipped my mind.
It's done really well.
I saw Ruby Sparks is the one that comes to mind. I don't know if you saw that flick.
No, I've seen that.
Plays this like writer when he's writing this character, and she kind of comes to life. Yeah,
I heard about that. Yeah,
that was good.
yeah, it looked pretty good. Right, before we move on, I've got the
Oscar noms.
Oscar noms for 2008.
Let's hear 'em.
Which ones do you want to know? The best picture?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was There'll Be Blood, No Country for Old Men, Michael Clayton.
Yeah. George Clooney. Never saw
George
it.
Clooney one.
Yeah.
I did see it, but I was, like I say, it was 11 years ago. I was like, I was like 14.
Yeah.
So,
I forget that you're younger than me sometimes. Yeah.
It's the wisdom in my eyes.
It's the wisdom. Oh, is it? Yeah. Is it? Is it? Okay. I thought that's why I liked you.
But yeah, it was okay. Juno, which
Oh yeah, got one right. Yeah.
An Atonement, which I've never seen.
Oh, Atonement, right? Okay, this is controversial opinion, first episode, but Atonement to me. Okay, let me ask you this, right? Have you ever watched a film where you think everything about this film is really good? It's shot beautifully, it's acted pretty well, but for some reason you just don't like it. It doesn't sit with you.
Yeah,
that's Atonement for me.
Oh really? Yeah.
Well, amazingly well directed piece of shit. The cinematography is incredible, but I just hated the story.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Is this? Yeah, the story. It seems like a similar story to a lot of things.
Yeah. Right? Yeah, I would say so. I mean, it's maybe that's what it is. It's been done to death, but I know a lot of people have a lot of appreciation for it. So I'm not going to slag it off too much.
No,
not until we get more established, anyway.
Well, I can't say anything.
Just maybe sound like that guy.
I haven't made
Well, there is that. There is that. Yeah.
Well, this is the actor, the best actor in the year. So Daniel Day-Lewis won that one as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was up against Johnny Depp for Sweeney Todd.
Fuck off. We are swearing on this podcast, aren't we?
Well, I have been.
Wait, well, you have? Okay, well, yeah, fuck.
So, yeah.
Not that I have anything. Fucking, you know what, Johnny Depp, I know, not to go too much off subject, but what the fuck? I didn't even like Sweeney Todd. You know, I know.
I did like it.
Did you?
Yeah. Well, I ain't seen it for ages, man, but...
I know people like it.
Fun. Yeah. I like Tim Burton, I know I've got a soft spot for him.
Yeah.
So even when he does shit... I tend to just not watch the ones that I heard this shit because I don't want to think bad of him. Because I like him.
I just think his latest stuff's just a bit...
Yeah, I've not watched any.
Shit, basically. Big Eyes was good. Don't know if you saw that.
Who?
Big Eyes.
Big Eyes?
Christoph Waltz and somebody else who I can't think of right now.
Yeah.
That wasn't bad.
New, like?
Newish. Couple of years old, yeah.
Never heard of that.
Yeah.
He was up against Viggo Mortensen as well, Feast and Promises.
Oh, wow, yeah. What a movie.
He's nominated this year as well, isn't he?
Yeah, which, by the way, Green Book is excellent, as I was telling you in the kitchen prior to recording this.
Yeah, I need to see that. I haven't seen it yet. Yeah, East and Promises was great though. I thought he was really good in that.
Yeah, good movie.
What's his chaps?
David Cronenberg?
The guy wrote it. It was the guy who wrote Peaky Blinders, Steve Knight.
That I didn't know.
Yeah, local bloke.
I didn't know that. Wow, that's a very rounded film. So you've got local Midlands writer, and then you've got Viggo Mortensen, and then you've got Vincent Cassel, who was obviously a French actor and American director. Really cool. Who else was he up against? I'm curious now.
Tommy Lee Jones for In the Valley of Elah. E-L-A-H.
I think I remember that film. I didn't see it though.
I don't know what that is. And George Clooney for Michael Clayton.
Wow.
Which I think he was just being George Clooney in it. I can't remember him being particularly not George Clooney.
Does George Clooney ever not play George Clooney? Can you think of a time when he's done that?
Well, Dust Till Dawn is probably one of the best films ever made.
Fucking great movie, man. There's a director who's lost his way, I would say. I mean, I haven't seen the new Battle Angelito, but Robert Rodriguez.
Yeah.
From Dust Till Dawn, fucking Desperado, Sin City, and what the fuck, man? Do you know what I mean?
Spy Kids.
Fucking Spy Kids, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Yeah. I you know what? My other half thinks that Alita looks like a piece of crap.
I think it does as well.
Yeah, oh man, there's a part of me that's really excited because I'm a big fan of Robert Rodriguez's stuff. I love Sin City.
Yeah.
I love Desperado and Once Upon a Time in Mexico. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what he's doing with this massive CGI budget.
Yeah, that's what worries me.
Makes it, if it's either going to be exactly what you expect it to be.
Which is what?
Piece of shit.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Maybe.
I think it's going to be one or the other. I think he's so good at mindless fun. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's like, you know, that he's got that friendship with Tarantino. I think with bounce off each other that way. And
you could argue that like all his films are mindless fun now that you say it, but just very good
Yeah.
mind. Like if you look at Desperado, there's
Machete.
well, yeah, exactly. I mean, that was great, wasn't it?
Kills,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
was a bit too far, I think, when they went to space and that.
Yeah. Fucking machete in space. How did he get away with that? I suppose.
Yeah. But I get it, like, because I did love the original Grindhouse thing that they did together.
I liked Robert Rodriguez's segment
Planet Terror.
Planet. I wasn't big on Tarantino's.
Really?
I wasn't. Oh,
No,
fuck it.
I'm surprised,
Fuck's it
man.
called now?
Death Proof.
Death Proof. See, that shows how much I can't even remember the name of a Tarantino film. That shows how
You
much
told me you were a defender.
I do. A defender of Tarantino. I am mostly.
Not for Death Proof. Oh, I liked it. What didn't you like?
Okay, I'm supposed to sound intelligent about a movie podcast, and I probably should avoid this word, but I find it boring, man.
Boring, yeah. All the talking. Yeah,
Well, talking's good, but the dialogue in this just didn't seem to stick for me.
I liked it. He goes, what's he say? He's like, I'm gonna have to list you under chicken shit. The poem.
Yeah.
Oh man, I can't fucking remember it. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
I'm losing my own argument here. I really liked it. I thought the ending was a bit daft, but
Maybe I should return to it. I don't know. I don't know. It's been a long time.
I like the making it bad for the sake of making it bad.
Yeah.
I like that. And I like it, but it's still got good like stunts in it and stuff, and you know what I mean. Like there's still really good gore in it and stuff like that. It's still a Tarantino film, man, and I'll defend anything he ever does.
Fair enough, man. Fair enough.
Except Four Rooms, because I haven't seen that.
Four Rooms is great. I haven't seen it in yonks, and I don't even know if you can get a hold of that movie. That's something I need to look at. But it's good, man. And Robert Reed, both of their segments in that are brilliant.
Is Robert Rodriguez one of the directors as well?
Believe so.
No way.
It's been years, over a decade, easy.
Is Tarantino directed a part of Sin City, didn't he?
Yeah, the scene where they're in the car with Clive Owen and Benicio del Toro.
Really?
Yeah,
When your chips are down.
that's the one, man. Wow. So if I ever need to quote, There Will Be Blood is an incredibly quotable movie, Joe. So I'm just going to clip my fingers and point at you.
Only the other ones where they're smoking. Oh god, smoky voice.
Moving back to actors, we mentioned Daniel Day-Lewis, Paul Dano. That's really bad. I don't know.
I said Dano, but
Dano? Should we just stick with Dano? But, yeah, we are involved. Dano. Yeah.
Dano!
Sounds like that kid who sits in the back of class, isn't it? Really, it's just
Dano! You were shitting there over there. He weren't, mate. He's just jealous that bully is. He's really good in Nail Blood.
He's fucking amazing. The other actor I want to highlight on is Dylan Frazier, once again, can't pronounce surname, who is HW, the boy HW.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking amazing, man.
Yeah, great, man. Really wide-eyed.
That scene where
little boy.
where he wide-eyed little boy, where he sees where he finds out he's lost his hearing, and do you remember where he's like cusping him?
Yeah.
When he's realised that Daniel Plainview's realised he's in for the money big time, and he spends hours. I think he spends like a whole night out there seeing the oil like prosper, and then finally he comes back and he's like cusping him in almost a fetal position. That scene's really powerful, man.
It is, yeah. But it's like it's the start of the fall really between them, isn't it? Because that's where Daniel gets he just starts getting really frustrated with HW, doesn't he? I think he finds it hard to just deal with him, being able to communicate with him.
Yeah.
And he's like forcing that milk, the whiskey milk, with it on him, like when he's got pain, and he's just really like agitated with him.
Yeah. Whiskey milk, man.
Whiskey milk.
Is that something would you try that whiskey milk? Would you?
Yeah, I'd give it a go. I like whiskey and I like milk.
Mine would have to be like lactose-free soya milk, because I can have a little bit of milk in tea. But like, speaking of milkshakes and Drink Your Milkshake, like I fucking I don't know. I'm not announcing to everyone that I'm a lactose intolerant. I don't know, but basically, in the past year or so, if I have like cereal with like proper milk, it fucks me over, man. I'm done. I'm not going to talk about my bowel movements or anything, but you get the gist. You know what I mean?
It's a sign of a good content maker.
So
you plant the seed. You know you're on about your bowel movements.
So, it's I Drink Your Soya Milkshake for me.
I didn't know that. I'm lucky making your tea with
Yeah. No. I can manage, Builder's tea, I'm fine. It's fine. Well, we'll see. We've only just started. You might have to take this one solo for a bit.
There'll be a few bowel movements before the podcast is through.
Yeah. The cinematographer is a guy called Robert Elswit. The editor is a guy called Dylan Teichnor, and of course our score, the wonderful score, which I want to talk about, is by the wonderful, great, classic guitarist and in this case composer Johnny Greenwood. Which is a question I wanted to ask you when I was doing prep for this.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Radiohead? I don't believe me and you have ever had this conversation.
I can't claim that I'm a super fan or anything. I've never listened to all their albums and stuff like that. But I had the greatest hits in my teens, which I loved that.
Yeah.
I never really explored them beyond that, really.
Okay.
But yeah, I follow what they're doing a bit. You know what I mean? I know about them a bit, and I think they're brilliant. I think everything they did for music was great, and I think Johnny Greenwood. He's the tits, man. I think he's the best. The scores he's coming out with are just some of my favourite ones for years. And he was snubbed at the Oscars for Derby Blood, which I think is arguably
was he?
Yeah, on a technicality.
What do you mean?
I'm not really sure, but I heard that there's one line of melody or something like that that had been previously used in another musical project of his, and so that made the score unoriginal.
Oh, so basically he sampled as such.
Well, I think that's arguable, because I think it was just a little bit of melody that it was his own writing from a previous project.
Yeah.
And say it was 5 seconds. This is all speculation, but say it was 5 seconds of music that he wrote before for something else. It was used in one of the songs for the soundtrack, which then the Oscars said, "Oh, it's not an original score then." So he didn't get nominated.
Blasphemy, man. That's because it's a killer score. When you stop and listen to it, it's just there's not much of it.
Yeah.
If you watch the film, we might as well talk about this now, really. But I wanted to really highlight when the film starts, right? There's this wailing siren, right? It's that man, and it sounds haunting. It's uncomfortable. It's painful.
Yeah.
Now
it sets off a 20-minute silence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, almost like you're just holding the sustain for ages. It's incredible. And every time that's I'm going to call it a wailing siren, right? That thing. Yeah. Do it again for me, Joe. Every time that comes in, it's something really sinister's happening. And this is a big conversation, really, but this I feel like it sounds like the music from hell, and there's some I don't know. Does Daniel Plainview come off as the devil to a degree, or is there some kind of with the relationship he has with Paul Dano? Yeah. Paul Dano's this man of church, and obviously he's not a very nice guy, particularly towards the end of the film, and you hate that character immediately. And you like Daniel Plainview, even though he's not a very nice man, so he's a typical anti-hero. Yeah. But he has this kind of devil quality about him. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Well, I think they're both the devil in the sense that they both represent capitalism. How he displays himself as this prosperous businessman, and if you let him do business here, it's going to be better for everyone here. And Eli's doing the same thing, really, through faith rather than through business.
Yeah.
I think he ultimately wants to be a success rather than be a good priest at his church. Because as soon as he did have a chance to leave and become something more, he did.
Yeah.
And he ran out of money, and that's the end of the film.
Yeah.
He comes back to Daniel to ask for money.
Yeah.
And I think they're both they represent trust in business and trust in faith that is all bullshit, really. It's just for their own gain. They wrap it up.
And they're just doing it in ways that they know, I suppose, oil or church.
What's he say? He said, no one should look upon a loaf of bread as a luxury. You know, because this town where he is now, finding the oil, they have no grain, and he's saying, like, well, if you let me buy your land and drill for oil, it will become prosperous land.
Yeah.
But he doesn't give a fuck. He just wants the oil through his money, just like businesses today. You know, and I think Eli's doing exactly the same.
Yeah.
With faith. You know, he's promising. You know, just like evangelical preachers of today. And stuff like that, you know. So I think they are both represented as evil.
Yeah, whilst having showered in good intentions, I suppose. Yeah.
Like, some could argue that Daniel Plainview doesn't love HW. Him saying at the end, "You were just, I just needed a pretty face to help me buy land."
Yeah.
You know, stuff like saying that he put on the facade of the family man to get gain. You know, it was like psychopath. You know what I mean? Like just blending in to. And stuff, but I don't think that I do think he did love HW, but that's just a theory.
Oh really? Yeah.
I think he loved it.
That's a debate that has been going on in my head for a while. Yeah. Ever since I watched the film, I think that's a big thing because, like you said, obviously, you know, the family, what's the word? Facade, I suppose. Yeah. You know, when HW is no longer, well, at least he believes he's no longer. What's the word? Beneficial towards him in his business. He meets Henry, which we'll probably talk a bit more about in later, and really attaches onto Henry, and then obviously Henry fucks him over, and you know what happens there. So I don't know. I mean,
yeah, because he thought Henry was blood, which he could have put before HW, then he's not blood.
I've always thought
quite obsessed with himself, like his blood. He talks about, like, you know, he says that to HW at the end when he says, "There's none of me in you," or "There's none of you." Yeah, there's none of me in you. So
yeah.
When he met Henry, when he thought he was his actual brother, he actually thought there's a part of him that's a part of me.
Yeah.
So he then maybe started putting him first.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, perhaps. I think the thing I thought, right, and like trying to put my mind into Daniel Plainview and the kind of person he is, the fact that HW was or became deaf or lost his hearing, wouldn't, like, in the way of thinking like Daniel Plainview and like thinking, okay, this little boy is growing my business because it represents his family business and people are attracted to that, particularly the kind of small town folk he was trying to get. Surely that would have played more on people's heartstrings a bit. Like that would have worked better. Like, this is a good man. He's looking after a deaf boy, or was he just embarrassed of him?
Are you asking me?
Yeah. Well, it's a rhetorical question.
I don't know. I think possibly. I just saw it as frustration. You know, is that he knew how to deal with him. He knew how to raise him. He's his little lad. He knew what he was doing. He's been doing it for a long time. Yeah. And then now it's just like it's another obstacle in his life. Is that his son's death, and it's another thing to think about, and he doesn't think about that. He looks after number one. He gets his oil, and that's what he's doing. And I think he's too selfish to learn how to sign language. He doesn't. You know, over all those years, he never tries to communicate with his son. You know, he still has.
I did find that interesting. Yeah.
So he ain't got time for that shit. You know what I mean? That's what I think he thinks.
That's interesting.
And so it was more of a frustration. So he sent him away after he tried to burn Henry. And he was just like, fuck, I can't deal with this kid now, he's deaf, I can't communicate with him. I don't know what the fuck's going on. I need to send him away to be taught how to behave. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I don't know if that means he doesn't love him. But we could argue that he's devoid of all love. He doesn't know how to love. He only loves himself.
He's quite... on that note, he's quite a contradictory character in the sense that, do you remember that scene where on the beach with Henry? Yeah. And it's kind of when he clocks on to that he might not be his brother.
The beach chica.
Yeah, exactly, that one. That bit where he mentions about this house that he saw in his childhood, and obviously that's what kind of like prompted him to realise Henry's not his brother. But he goes, I want to get away from everyone and everything. Yeah. But then it's clear that he's got this attachment with Henry, and obviously more so with HW, particularly when HW comes back from LA to visit him, and the way he's holding him and hugging him. By the way, I love that shot. You know, it's shot from like afar, and then it comes quite brilliant. And it's like, this is really interesting. Maybe he's conflicted within himself. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, you know so little about him, about his life outside of the story, outside of the Elby Blood. It's hard to say. Like, you know, the family ask him, where's his wife? And he says she died in childbirth. No, it's just me and my son. So we know that that's not true with HW, but it still could have been true. His wife could have died in childbirth, and his actual child could have died.
Yeah.
And we don't know anything. Like, we know that he was a solitary miner, dragged himself through the wilderness to get back. You know, he broke his leg and stuff. So he mentions he likes to be solitary and stuff. Maybe he's never had love. You know, maybe he doesn't understand love, and he's conflicted with HW. I don't like to believe that he doesn't love him.
Is that because you like him? Is that because you like him?
No, I think it because it takes away the impact of some parts of the film. So I think where he's like I abandoned my child.
Yeah.
And all that, like, you know,
Yeah.
It's like, I think if he doesn't love him, that means he's acting there. And it's
But he's acting. Well, yes and no. It depends how you look at it. He starts off acting because of the whole William Bandy situation.
But then he breaks through. He's like, "Oh fuck, yeah, I have abandoned my child."
Yeah.
And then he says, "I'm going to get you for this," to Eli, because it's like, "You bastards, you made me feel.
Yeah.
You made me weak in
Yeah.
front of people, stuff like that. Like, this isn't a part of me that I understand, and you brought that out of me, and I'll get you for that." And it's like, I think it's conflict. I think to say that he knows he doesn't love HW, and he knows he's using him as business to get to buy land, then you're saying that through the whole film he's a cold, calculated psychopath. Yeah. Which I don't think he is. I think he's in emotional turmoil. Like, you know, he's with Henry. He obviously doesn't have any contact with his family. One of his parents died or something. I can't remember.
Yeah, Henry confirms that his mum passed away.
Yeah. And it's like he has no idea and stuff like that. And it's like, maybe that's why he clings to Henry for a bit, because he's just heard his mum die, and he's like, maybe there is some part of me in him. But I think still overall it's still arrogance. You know, it's still because it's a part of him. Yeah. Not because it's he's another person. It's because there's a part of Daniel Plainview in that person, and as soon as he knows that there's not, and he's been lied to and duped, he just fucking blows his head off, doesn't he? Yeah, it really does. Yeah, literally. Also, I think that's the best bit of acting of all time.
What's the best bit of acting of all time? The bit where
Daniel Plainview's face when he finds out, when he's there over him with a gun, and he's.
You think that's the greatest piece of acting of all time?
Yeah, I think his face. He doesn't say a word. He just looks that angry. It's scary. Yeah. Imagine that face over you with that much anger, with a gun to your head. Yeah. Because he could say a million words there, couldn't he? Yeah. And he doesn't. He doesn't. He just looks at him like red in the face, so there's a big vein throbbing, and he's just like, whoa, bang. Yeah. I was like, oh fuck, man, no, that is real anger, man. Yeah. Yeah. I find that fucking fascinating because. You know, I'm artistic in many ways, right? I'm not going to sit here and blow my own trumpet, but one thing I can't do, right, is act. And I know I don't want to embarrass you on the first episode, but yeah, but you've definitely got more performance experience. Tens of people. And on screen and stage, and I have evidence of this. But anyway, but like how. In your opinion, from like the bit of acting that you've done in your life, how do you get to that place where you can because I imagine that is so much more hard, and probably the reason why you got so much respect for that scene, to say that with no words than say it with a million words, because that could have easily been like this shouty, angry, aggressive scene, but it wasn't, was it? No. And how do you build that emotion? I mean, is that like I mean, it's mind blowing though, isn't it? That's why he's the best. Yeah, I suppose. It's I don't know. I think a big part of that's down to the filmmaking. You know, it's the director will say, "Well, no, you're really angry now. Say all this stuff," or they'll say, "No, you're really angry, but don't say a word." Yeah. Because I need to see it on your face. Yeah. And yeah, I think it's just separating you and the character. I suppose that just imagining like how people do it.
Yeah.
Again, it's like not thinking about how you look, not thinking about how you are, how you exist outside of playing that character.
Yeah.
Just, you know, and that's something that Daniel Day-Lewis obviously does with all of his roles. And he lives as those characters, and he's gone through a lot of mental stress, like letting go of those roles after.
Oh really?
After films, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's after Gangs of New York, I think, and he was saying like, you know, I have to accept that it's over now, and that it's not mine anymore. It's out in the world, and it's done, and now I have to. You know, he has to learn then. He's that ingrained with the character. He has to learn how to separate himself from the character.
That's really interesting.
And be himself again. Like, yeah, apparently he was talking as Bill the Butcher for like months after the film.
just walk into a shop and he's still Bill the Butcher. Fucking.
Where's my fucking newspaper? That's a kill. That's a kill.
Yeah.
That's a kill. That's a kill.
That's fucking hilarious, man.
If it was up to me, they would never set foot on American soil. American. The Daily Mail.
Fucking hell. No, yeah. Not that anybody should be reading the fucking Daily Mail as far as I'm concerned. I like to think Daniel Day-Lewis, well, he's not American, is he? He's fucking Irish, so he might fucking be reading it.
Which is American.
Ah, yes. Yeah, he's still gonna, of course, it doesn't matter where he is, does it?
That's actually something I did want to bring up in this first episode, is how do you feel about method acting?
In general?
Actors, yeah. And all cases, you know, so...
Yeah.
The difference between method, you know,
okay.
Used to do it differently, don't they?
When you ask me that question, do you mean how do I feel about it, how the performances come out, or how do I feel about it if I was in a film, if I was directing a film, and somebody was method acting?
Yeah, as a person in the world, who describes himself as a method actor, in the world of Hollywood and cinema and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Do you think that's the way to go, or do you think it's the way to go for some? Do you think it's pretentious? Do you think it's a sense of self-importance that people carry out into the world to like justify their role as an artist in the world?
It's an interesting question and something I've not really thought about, so it's really good. But I think you saying that and what immediately comes to mind is like you take any art, right? Yeah. If there's one thing we both do is we've both got experience in video production of some sort, film production of some sort, right?
Can we say?
Yeah.
Neil used to be my film lecturer. Actually, I was his student.
He was my student. I was waiting for the emails to come in, going, "How did you and Joe meet?" Or "How did you and Neil meet?" Well, he was
together in a small shack or
a
small hill,
and we cuddle every night. Joe's a lot taller than I am, so he's got a lot of warmth to provide. Not too much though. And we're both musicians, you know. You're a lot more accomplished than me in that area, but he's got a lovely voice, I tell you.
Thank you.
And I think everyone's got their own way of doing shit. Like we were talking about this morning, we were talking about music. If we're not talking about films, we're usually talking about music, aren't we? And we're both kind of in agreement about like how we learn to play and what pisses us off about other people. And we're quite, I think, from what you've told me, you're very kind of self-taught to a degree, and you've developed your own style, and you kind of get pissed off at rigid playing. I think at the end of the day, when it comes to acting, I think everyone's got their own style. I've got my own style of making films. I certainly got my own style of editing.
Yeah.
Or more so my process of editing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my kind of forte. So that's what I think. So I think if it works and it serves the film,
this is where
doesn't matter.
This is where it changes for me.
Okay.
My opinion is that like I think that's fine. You do it your way, but then I think but like Daniel Day-Lewis is having the crew spoon feeding, so he can stay in his wheelchair from my left foot, staying in character. You're impacting other people's lives then. So you've got to go and spoon feed Daniel Day-Lewis fucking suit there because he's in character.
Yeah, okay. That's an interesting point.
I can't remember who it was. I think it might have been on Graham Norton or something. Someone was talking about Sharon Stone and they were at dinner together and they were going to be in a film together, and Sharon Stone went, this may be the last time we speak. I'm feeling my character kicking in, like.
Really?
You know what I mean? It's like, no, man, that's like fucking schizophrenia. You know what I mean?
I suppose.
It's like that that you've got to be putting that on.
I suppose when you say it's impacting other people's lives, then that would be a problem. Because at the end of the day, if you got to run a job on the next Daniel Day-Lewis film or Paul Thomas Anderson film, you ain't gonna fucking say no, are you? You're gonna say, yeah, I'm gonna fucking do that. But then you're like, you got to go and fucking wipe Daniel Day-Lewis's ass because he's paying a. Yeah, do you know what I mean? I mean, would you wipe Daniel Day-Lewis? I don't fucking know. Would you?
Daniel Day-Lewis is like, well, you know, guys, I've got terrible pulls. No, Daniel, you're fine, mate.
Yeah.
You're fucking acting, man.
Yeah.
Like, get out the wheelchair and feed yourself.
That's a really interesting point.
Because it's like, and it's almost, Daniel Day-Lewis is a proper artist actor. He'll fuck up his life for a part, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And because he's a proper artist.
Yeah.
But like, that's bullshit, man. And you can still justify it because he's so good. It's like how people forget that Elvis used to shag 14-year-old girls because he's that good. We'll forget about that.
Wow. First we speak about bowel movements and now fucking Elvis's crimes. What next? This is supposed to be a movie podcast, by the way.
Yeah. But Elvis was.
He was. I was just thinking that.
And yeah. So. You forget about that, but like you got Gerard Leto doing method acting for fucking Suicide Squad.
Fuck that shit.
And he's like sending like rotten fish to the other cast members and used Johnnies and stuff like that.
What the fuck?
And it's like, have you not heard about
nah, man.
Yeah,
well, I'll try and block everything out about Suicide Squad as much as possible.
Yeah. But the other argument could be that it's all a fucking line he's used to sell tickets, like, you know what I mean? Well, he's playing the Joker, so he's obviously got to go a bit mad because he actually died. And you know,
I mean that's another debate, you know.
That's another episode. But yeah, and it's like, I think if you the kind of method acting I love is Robert De Niro learning to be a taxi driver. You know, he actually was a working taxi driver when he was preparing for the role. Daniel Day-Lewis, you know, he lived in the woods for Last of the Mohicans and stuff. I get all that. Like, that's good.
Is that method acting or is that prep? Because, you know, have you seen Scent of a Woman? Al Pacino, Scent of a Woman?
I know of it. I've never actually seen it.
I know he volunteered at a blind school. He plays a blind guy, basically. Fantastic film. Check it out. Amazing performances. But like, is that just research? Or
that's a good point. Is that just research or is that method acting?
Yeah.
You're saying that if you're not method acting, then you're just guessing.
Maybe it depends on what the role is. So let's go back to My Left Foot. That is a full-blown 100% performance, isn't it? That's physical, isn't it? Whereas like Robert De Niro could have played Travis Bickle. Robert De Niro get mixed up. Could have played Travis Bickle and came into work or work, you know, on set, whatever. As Travis Bickle, it's not that big of a difference, is it? Because he's
no one's
you know, unless he starts blowing fucking people up and stuff. You know, like that.
That's it. You've hit the nail on the head there. Because if you're in character as whoever, well, let's think of someone who's in character. Sharon Stone, then apparently she's one of those people who gets into character and stays in character. Yeah. It comes she ain't shagging and murdering people. Yeah. Like how much in character you still get into your expensive car after the day's shooting of your dietary specific things and go home to your assuming it's a nice house that you're No,
Sharon Stone lives in this little flat, you know.
yeah. But it's just like I don't know Sharon Stone from Adam. I don't really know.
No.
Saw him Quick and the Dead.
Yeah, that was a good movie, man. Yeah. Casino is probably the
love Quick and the Dead.
Yeah, sick film. Casino is the one role that really stands out for me.
Casino, man.
Oh my god, it's amazing, dude. It's amazing. Yeah, great performance in there. But yeah. Okay, good. That's like a really, really interesting topic. I don't know how I feel about method actors now. You're really making me think about that. That's strange.
It just depends. It just If you're ruining someone's day, just who was it who said it to Dustin Hoffman? Dustin Hoffman kept himself awake for 3 days for The Running Man. Who was in the room? Was it Sidney Poitier?
Marathon Man.
Yeah, Marathon Man.
The Running Man's arm.
I was like, threw himself into that role with Sidney Poitier. Marathon Man with fucking, what's his name? The old, who's in Marathon?
Fucking, I can't remember, man. But you got a computer, IMDb. My computer is currently recording this podcast. You haven't given me your Wi-Fi code, so.
I don't know. It's on the back of that modem.
Oh, okay.
Marathon. Hang on.
Is it Marathon Man?
I can't run. I've never seen it, man.
Oh, fucking hell. It's been a while, man. It's been a while.
It is. Right, hang on. It's going to be anticlimactic now when I tell the story.
It really is, yeah.
Laurence Olivier.
Laurence Olivier, yes.
And so Dustin Hoffman kept himself awake for 3 days because his character was insomnia.
Yeah.
And Laurence Olivier said to Dustin Hoffman, he said, have you ever tried acting? Do you know what I mean?
Fucking hell.
Have you ever tried acting? He's like saying, have you got to fucking keep yourself awake for 3 days to act like you've been awake for 3 days?
Is that like a stage thing? Because I don't know much about Laurence Olivier, but like I'm sure his background's in the stage, and they're just different. They're a different caliber of fish, aren't they? You know,
acting, you're doing it.
Yeah.
And then that's what method acting. You're doing it, and then
yeah.
Where Laurence Olivier is obviously a traditional actor. Like I say, he must have come from the stage for his time in cinema and stuff. And that's what he's saying. Like, just acting. But I think there's a middle ground. So yeah, it's like Daniel Day-Lewis learning how to sew and make dresses and stuff like that to the top level for Phantom Thread. I think that's class. I love that he's done that. Yeah, that's wicked. That is a perfect way to get into the head of your character. Yeah. But you haven't got to go home to your family in character. Look, I think that's what he's saying. He's saying, look, Laurence Olivier is saying, if you're not a very good actor, you've got to be that character for you 100% of your time. Surely part of acting has got to be climbing in and out of the character. Yeah. And not letting it fuck up your life. I don't know.
No, I know what you're saying.
I could talk about a musician who fucks up their life for music, and like I'll be like, oh yeah, but I get it, man.
Yeah.
He's living for the art.
Like fucking, I know, like who comes to mind? Like every fucking 60s, 70s musician ever, basically, who made anything decent.
So I suppose he's still artist suffering for the art.
But
somewhere.
It's a different kind. I don't know. It's weird, isn't it?
Leo isn't in Suicide Squad. That's bullshit.
Yeah, that's bullshit,
it, man. Heath Ledger died. You need some weird shit as well. Fuck it. But it probably was. Man, I like Jared Leto. It probably wasn't his idea. It was probably the company.
Maybe it's pressure. I mean, what shoes to fill. You know what I mean?
And man, and they dressed him up like a bloody G.
Gangster Joker. I know. Yeah. They just. I mean, I don't want to dwell too much on this, but they just can't nail the Joker, in my opinion. That's a really controversial opinion because don't get me wrong, I like Heath Ledger's interpretation on screen. That's probably my favourite one because I'm not a big fan of Batman 89. This isn't non-common news, but I don't fucking love Batman Returns. It's probably my favourite Batman movie, but I don't know. It's just I just think they just can't seem to nail that. Like
it's just a character that's so open to interpretation.
Perhaps,
but again, like a super fandom with anything like that.
We are probably
whatever they're saying, like whatever they do, you can pick something wrong because super fans have their own ideas of what it should and shouldn't be. Yeah. But I think Heath Ledger was the tits, man. I loved Heath Ledger. Yeah. In that.
What are your thoughts about 10 Things I Hate About You? Because I think that film is fucking awesome. I love it.
I think I've seen it, man.
Watch it, man. It is like I used to go around saying, someone would go, oh, Neil, what's your guilty pleasure movie? I'd say 10 Things I Hate About You. Fuck that. It's a pleasure now. I fucking love it. Great cast, man. Joseph Gordon-Levitt as well. Yeah.
It's good, man. I love Knight's Tale. That was good fun.
I've never seen it, but everyone always says Knight's Tale's awesome.
What is it called? What is it called? There's a film with Heath Ledger and this girl. I can't think who the actress is. I can't remember. It's years ago. I think it's called Candy.
Yes. Oh my god, that film's awesome.
Like Heaven, Earth, and Hell, and it's about their addiction.
The heroin addict, yeah.
That's it. Yeah. Man.
I watched it once, but I remember.
Yeah.
Australian flick, isn't it? I think. Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah. I've seen it once. I remember thinking this is brilliant, and I've not watched it again. But it was a long time ago. But it was really good.
I just remember a bit.
Yeah. Back to There Will Be Blood. Fuck knows. It's like Candy Batman, some shit like Candy Batman. That's interesting. Back to There Will Be Blood. I want to talk about the opening scene. Right, it's fucking silent for. I had it here. 14 minutes until we hear dialogue.
Yeah, man.
And that is incredible, mate. That is like universal. It's just like you know exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
Earlier to what you were saying, it's a testament to their filming. Daniel Day-Lewis's acting.
Yeah.
And obviously Paul Thomas Anderson's direction as well.
Yeah.
It's just brilliant.
There's no need. There's no. I think it takes it. You know, it's a brave thing to do in filmmaking, and that is to use less when you can.
Yeah.
And respect the audience. And you know, nothing needs to be said there.
No.
Nothing is said.
Nothing is said. HW, the whole scene where HW's real biological father, who I presume is biological father.
Yeah.
Interesting to know what happened with the mother there. Maybe she really did die in childbirth, and that's why he's looking after. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I've never thought about that until now.
That's why the kids that were with it.
Yeah, makes sense, doesn't it? Because why the hell would you have a baby in that kind of environment? Who knows? Yeah.
Safety there.
Yeah. So that happens, and then we hear 14 minutes into the film, we hear dialogue, and that's when Daniel and HW are trying to get the small town to buy oil, and he refuses.
It's not HW.
I love it. I love the fact that it's called HW. It's just so cool. Obviously, eventually, Paul Sunday approaches them, which is Paul Dano's first character in the film, which is really cool. Just on that note, every scene, there's probably about 5 scenes of dialogue between Paul Dano and Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yeah.
Incredible, every single one.
Yeah.
To the scene where he batters him on the field.
Yes.
And he's dragged to the lamps it up. Yeah. To the scene with the church scene. I am a sinner. Yeah. All that shit. Yeah. Fucking brilliant. Okay. Even though this film is very kind of like there's a lot of interpretations there, a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Just want to clarify this. Eli and Paul are twins, yeah?
Yeah.
But they never mention the twins, they're just brothers.
They mention that they're brothers. But I think it does imply that he implies that they're twins at the very end.
Does it?
Yeah. He said, I heard it was an ad-lib as well, and if it is an ad-lib, it's the best ad-lib ever. And he's telling Eli how Paul was the smart brother. He goes, Paul, he was a smart one.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. And he says, You're just an afterbirth that slithered out onto your mother's filth.
Wow.
So that implies that he was a twin.
Yeah. I missed that, clearly.
I heard that was an ad-lib.
Really?
Yeah.
And that's obviously the scene when he kills him before,
The chest, milkshake scene.
Yeah.
Which way where you got our name?
I'm sure you didn't guess that. Quail. They're hunting for quail. I love that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Me and the boy like to hunt quail.
The small flightless bird.
Yeah. I want to talk about Daniel Playview's character. Something I found really, really interesting was the whole dynamic between him, HW, and Mary. Now, it's clear that Mary and HW have got a connection really early and obviously goes on to marry her. But when he finds out that his father is beating Mary, and then do you remember that scene where he goes, your daddy doesn't hit you anymore, does he? Yeah. Good, no more hitting and all that stuff, right? And then it reveals that his dad's sitting right there.
Yeah.
I love that.
And he looks so ashamed that he's buried his head in his bowl.
But the fact that you don't see that at all off screen, what does that say about Daniel Playview's character? That's so interesting.
Is that Paul Thomas Anderson wanting the audience to like him a bit? Do you know what I mean? Is he that?
Maybe.
Is that saying like, look, there's a part of him that is good. Do you know what I mean? I haven't thought about that till now, but is that the filmmaker going?
Yeah.
Look, he isn't just a fucking monster. He does have an inner struggle.
Yeah, maybe, and all his morals are sided. So, for example, take a complex of let's take a nasty person. Let's take a racist, for example, right? Yeah. A racist is a full-blown racist can be like, I don't like this person because of the colour of their skin, where they're from, blah 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 blah. Yeah. But that doesn't stop them from having a family and looking after their own children and things like that. Yeah. So his morals are divided.
Yeah.
And maybe he's just very against, beating your kids, basically.
Yeah. Well, we know so little of his past and stuff like that. There's nothing saying that he wasn't abused as a child. Or slapped about.
That's true.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fit with the times.
Absolutely, man.
What do you think HW stands for? Henry Winkler.
Henry Winkler. Yeah, that's it.
Right, last minute.
Hey.
Sign language. Oh, right.
It's an audio podcast. Sorry, you can't. Joe was sticking his fingers out. Yeah.
Doing all business, just like tapping the ground.
Hey, Mr. P. Yeah. Speaking of, man, that scene is incredible when the oil bursts out. Now, I'm going to just say this. I mean, I can't. There's loads of obviously wonderful, amazing scenes that etch into your brain over the course of cinema, and I'm sure there's millions for you. Mm-hmm. If I was to pick like the top 3, it's got to be in there. It's just,
I agree.
Oh man,
just music, man. The percussive, it's like wooden sticks. And it's just repetitive and constant.
I mean, it's interesting because it's like, okay, he recognises that, okay, we've got it now. We've got the oil's gushing. It's this shit ton of it coming out. But his first instinct, he knows HW's there. He rescues HW. He knows he's hurt. Drags him back into like the office or sleeping quarters or whatever it is. And then rushes straight back out, knowing that HW's in like serious pain.
Yeah.
And I love the way that they're just the way they're just drenched in oil as well. You know what I mean?
He's like he taps his comrade on the shoulder, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He's like, yes,
that's it. We've done
Even
it.
though it's like a kind of a disaster, and like people have, I think a couple of people died, don't they, in that scene?
I think they get injured. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not sure actually. I'm not sure. Yeah.
He's just like delighted that they've struck oil.
Yeah, man. It's just.
Do you know anything about the book?
I know that it's called Oil.
Yeah,
that's all I know. Yeah,
it's called Oil, and I know it's like completely different.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I don't even know if it's the same characters or anything.
Oh, really?
It's just that he obviously took some inspiration from it, but I don't really know anything about it. So.
I'd like to know because I'd like to know if his background's revealed more, or I mean, I don't know if I want to know that, if you know what I mean.
No,
but
it's definitely. It's just funny, like that curiosity. It's like you don't want it in the film. It would ruin the film.
Yeah.
But the film's done and the film's great. I'd love to know more.
Yeah. Like
see it in another film.
No.
I just like to know what the writers thought of their own characters.
You don't want to see a prequel.
I don't need a There Will Be Blood extended universe.
Yeah. Could you imagine? You like see like a sequel where you see HW's drilling company like flourish in Mexico and stuff like that.
And Paul Dano was a Skrull.
He's a fucking Skrull. And Jesus was from fucking some next Marvel planet or some shit. I don't know. I mean, just talking about like the choice to make HW deaf is really, really powerful as well. I think the scenes there's like a montage scene with him coping with his deafness and the teacher coming over, and I just thought that was really powerful. And you mentioned it earlier.
And Daniel Plainview isn't in any of that.
That's very true.
Yeah,
that's very true. Yeah.
Scenes he's not.
Yeah. And that says it all, doesn't it, really?
Learning to communicate with his son.
I just like, this is what I mean about the morals being divided, about like, okay, he really cares about kids being beat, or he has some feelings towards that at least, but then he doesn't care for the disabled. Is that like, I mean, that's a horrible thing to say, isn't it?
Like he just see himself as that, I am busy with business and I ain't got time for this fucking deaf kid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I can't be sitting around learning sign language like some pansy.
Maybe, but there's like no attempt whatsoever. I mean, you like, obviously, fast forwarding. Yeah, like that. I mean, the bastard in a basket scene, right?
Bastard in a basket! Bastard in a basket!
Clearly, you've been practicing your Daniel Plainview better than I have. It's fucking it. You know what I mean? It's like, and when he's on about like, you know, like you can talk, and he makes him talk, and stop flapping your hands about, and you know, yeah. It's like he just doesn't give a fuck, does he, man? Do you know what I mean? Like, I mean, it's fucking crazy.
I'm finished.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about the what's his name, Eli and Daniel's confrontations, man. Okay. Fucking incredible, man. I mean, acting at its finest, I think.
I think it's what do you call a scene with just two characters in? A scene a scene with two characters. It's probably one of my favourite two-handed scenes.
Okay, we'll call it that. I'll throw that into the terminology book. I can do things like that.
It's one of my probably one of my favourite two-handed scenes.
Yeah. Yeah. The one that the first like real kind of, I mean, he does come to visit him and ask him to mention him at Eli asked Daniel to mention him at the opening of the oil rig. He doesn't. He mentions Mary, and he says the things that he'd like him to say about Mary instead, which is really interesting. So that's when the tension builds. There's this whole scene where he beats him up, right? And he says that he's going to bury him under. He's like, "I'm going to bury you underground." Do you remember that scene? And he beats the shit out of him. That's fucking brilliant. Obviously, that then leads on to Eli taking advantage of him in the church when Daniel realizes that he's only going to get Bandy to get Bandy's land. He's only going to be able to do that if he joins Eli's church, which he very reluctantly decides to. And then the cue, the I am the sinner scene, which
can I just interrupt you there?
Yeah.
Bandy's land.
Yeah.
A wicked band name.
Bandy's land.
Bandy's land.
That's
band.
Fucking brilliant. Fuck me, Joe. Let's do it. Let's do it. Yeah.
Coming at ya.
What kind of genre would that be? Do you think? Yeah, kick into some real kind of like boof, 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 like kind of. I can hear punk in that. I can hear country in that.
Punk and
a bit of folk.
Orchestral.
Bandy's land sounds like an
orchestral punk.
Wow, there we go. Inventing genres.
Yeah, orchestral punk created history.
Yeah. Copyright that shit.
Right, yeah. So.
Bandy's Land. God, I'm starting to think about the name of the podcast now. Should we call it Bandy's Land? No, I Drink Your Milkshake.
Bandy's Land. I Drink Your Milkshake. Well,
yeah.
People could think we're a farming podcast.
Yeah, that's true.
Culture. Weekly.
Or people probably think we're going to be a milkshake podcast, man. We talk about milkshakes.
Selfish, look, a milkshake podcast where only we get the milkshake.
Only we're just drinking milkshake.
I drink yours.
You drink my milkshake. Yeah, just to highlight, me and Joe did live together in a shack, was it? I think.
In a shack.
Shack. I love shack.
Full of soya milkshakes.
Because of Neil's fucked up stomach.
Yeah.
Right, trying to think of the other scenes where they confront each other. I'm sure there's one more before then, or I don't think there is actually. I think. We've actually skipped all the Henry scenes, but we'll get to those in a bit. There's the I am a sinner scene, obviously, right? Confesses his guilt. Just on that note, right? We were talking about that earlier, so let's expand on that. And we spoke about it a little bit, but we've spoken a lot about Daniel Plainview and his emotions and where his heart is really. But you think he feels genuine guilt about what he did to HW, sending him off to LA, I believe it is, isn't it?
Yeah, because I feel like he didn't know how to deal with it, so he pushes it away. But he knows really that's a bad thing to do. Yeah,
and I think he's forced to deal with that, isn't he? There, and I think whilst that scene's happening, whilst he's admitting he's a sinner, he realizes actually, no, I do feel awful about this, and I have neglected my son.
Yeah. And it's probably the first time he's ever like admitted fault in himself. Do you know what I mean? It's like he's one of them. He cannot be seen to be weak, or he cannot be seen to be anything less than the Daniel Plainview that everyone knows.
Yeah.
So I think him saying it out loud, even though it's because it's what he's been told to say, it's the first time he's even saying to himself, "Yeah, I failed at something. I did something wrong."
Yeah.
He tells Henry that. I have a competition in me. He hates seeing anybody else succeed.
Yeah.
Only him can succeed. That's the only thing that makes him happy. And I just think he's like macho man.
macho man.
He can't be seen to that. So I think at that point where he's like, I'm a sinner, and all that, like he's admitting fault. Which I don't think he does
ever,
even to himself in his own mind. He holds himself above.
Yeah. No, I agree. And obviously the scene right at the end, there's four major confrontations. The obviously I Drink Your Milkshake scene, which is just nuts. I mean, he turns it around. He gets Eli to admit that he's a sinner, in one way, and he dupes him so brilliantly. You know, he's like, while he's eating, what the fuck is he eating for breakfast? Have you noticed? It's like this burnt fucking steak. Is it? Yeah. It's like, you know,
eating it off the bone.
as a pescatarian, that was slightly disturbing. You know, someone who doesn't eat meat. But
Not the death by Skittle.
no. Yeah. It's a classic like vegetarian pescatarian thing to say, isn't it? That
Falafel, Daniel. It could have been a falafel.
it's just so burnt and raw, you know. And I just love the way while he's scoffing that down, he just admits that those areas have already been drilled, that he wants drilling. It's just brilliant. Do you think there's any kind of like what's the word, symbolism with killing him with a bowling pin? I don't know. I mean, like I think I don't know if there is, and I'm not going to try and pretend to like. But why in a bowling pin area? Why is he? There's no mention that he likes bowling.
I think sometimes the meaning is surface level. I think sometimes a filmmaker is just like, that will look cool.
Yeah.
You know, he's been there, he's rich now, he lives in a big fucking mansion. Of course he's got himself a little bowling alley. He's got pissed on his bowling alley, and that's where he is when Eli visits. And that's going to be great for that scene. That's going to look wicked. You can chase him around there, it's all slippy floor. You can throw bowling balls at him and then you can beat him to death with a bowling ball. That sounds wicked, yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think you're right, mate. I think you're right. Yeah, I think it is simple as I like to think so.
English, not everything's English A level.
No.
You know what I mean? Sometimes the curtains are just purple.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I suppose. Obviously being like, you know, trained in media and taught it and stuff, I think you kind of just think everything has a purpose. But I think I do agree with you on that. I think
some people just, you know, not everyone's got the time for that shit, man.
No.
Like Tarantino sets all his clocks to 4 o'clock. Is it in Pulp Fiction?
Nah.
Is it?
I didn't know that one. You're probably right. I don't know. I just didn't know it.
They're
Yeah.
all set to the same time, I think. And look, people like speculate why, but I think it's just because he fucking can. He's quick Tarantino. He wanted to. Oh, that'll be fun. Now I'll do that.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes that's the only reason, and that's enough for him.
Yeah.
Because he's in the god position. You know.
Yeah.
He decides what's in the film, and he can do that. So yeah, man, let people speculate. It's just a bit of fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Want to just talk? We spoke a lot about acting. We spoke a bit about the soundtrack. One thing about the soundtrack I just want to highlight, and certainly before we wrap up, right, is there's as much as it's. I very early on in the podcast I mentioned that it's really like sinister, and that wail that we spoke about, you know. There is this beautiful music that seeps in and out when oil prospects come in.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know if you remember it. It's like this kind of nice. It's nice.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. I would go as far as saying, and it sweeps and it soars and it's just pretty. You know, it's pretty music. But then when oil hits, that dark siren comes back in, and I thought that was really, really interesting. I don't know if that's like a comparison to his character and everything we've spoke about, really. You know, so
could be another note on the capitalism thing that oil representing. You know, the idea of prospering and then the reality of business.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. And what all that comes with, yeah.
The actual ending music, the very ending music's really like upbeat and like renaissance-y.
Yeah, I remember now.
And you know, he's like, I'm finished, and he's like, it's not that much, but like it's like that. You know?
No, I know what you mean. Yeah, that was actually quite. I remember whistling that when I watched it the other night again for the rewatch. I was like, oh, that's strangely catchy. Catchy and Devil Blood. It's not really, don't go really hand in hand, do they? Okay, just to wrap it up. Really, I mean, I think we need to just mention a bit about Henry Plainview, whatever his name was. I can't remember. Brother, my favourite line. Probably in this film, despite I Drink Your Milkshake and I'm a Sinner. I'm your brother from another mother. I fucking love that. I'm a brother from another mother. Surely.
My brother from another mother.
Surely Paul Thomas Anderson had a giggle at that, because I would have been pissing myself if someone said that to me. But
I totally forgot about that.
He's an interesting character, and I mean, like, you know, that is a part of the film where I think the film calms down a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, I wouldn't say it's a weaker part of the film. It just calms down, and there's like a kind of middle section where it's a bit more.
He struck the oil, and now it's focusing more on the.
Yeah, and I mean, I do like it, but I wonder if that could be taken out and it would still have the same impact. That's something I just wanted to highlight with you, really. I mean, I don't know, it certainly builds on his character, but say if you had to do like a theatrical cut of it or something, could that have been taken out?
I think, if you had to trim it to get it down to 2 hours or whatever, that would be probably what you cut on it. Actually, that is the reason why he sends HW away. It's because he sets fire to the rooms while he's sleeping.
Oh shit! Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Or he suspects him or whatever.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
I love that bit where he chases him. Where he do you remember when he was like running after him? Get here, boy.
So I don't know. I really like. I think it's some of the best bits of the film, like where you get into the character of Daniel Plainview more. So it's very good. I don't think it's completely necessary to the story, but I think it's the detail of those parts that make the whole story so good. I think you'd still have a film without it.
Yeah.
You could have HW being sent away for a different reason. He was still deaf. He could have still been, misbehaving and stuff. But I think that you get that time. You get to see the anger in him. You actually see him kill someone, which lets you know he's got that in him.
Yeah.
To kill Eli at the end.
You don't actually see him kill him, do you?
Kill Eli?
Not Eli. Henry. You obviously him kill Eli.
He shoots like the top of his head, doesn't he? He shoots the top of his head and he's like lying there, like all. Like,
does he? Yeah.
spasming.
I remember the scene. It's really bad. I don't remember the actual death, but I mean, obviously that, and you've obviously expressed that you think that's the greatest piece of acting ever, which. I can't really, now the way you explained it and mentioned it, I can't really argue with that. I mean, it's genius. I am right.
I have one as well that you might find controversial.
Go on.
I think that one of the best bits of acting ever is, what's his name, Michael Parks, is Esteban in Kill Bill 2. In Kill Bill Volume 2, and he's there.
Oh yeah,
and he's there like a bill is like a song to me. You shot you in there. I have just got your face. I think that's it. But I think that's one of the best bits of acting ever, because he's in Kill Bill Volume 1.
Yeah.
Sheriff.
Yes. That's interesting. That, I mean, I got to.
Tarantino.
You are a Tarantino connoisseur, my friend. You are a fan. Yeah.
People should leave him alone. Just because he's good, everyone wants to be angry at him because he's a bit different.
No one's angry at Paul Thomas Anderson, though, are they, mate?
No. Well, actually, they're best friends, I think. In the real world, they're best friends.
Not in the There Will Be Blood universe.
In the real world, they're Thomas Anderson and Tarantino are really close friends.
Right. God, you're killing me with facts that I didn't know here.
On the trivia box.
Show trivia box hickling.
But Tarantino loves Paul Thomas Anderson's work.
Wow.
He says he's the true art director of our time, I think, or the true contemporary director of our time, something like that.
You can't argue with that, can you?
Absolutely not. No, I think because he writes his own films as well, and I just think he's one of those directors who just does what he wants. Yeah. Just does what he wants, and he's good enough. He puts his money where his mouth is. He can deliver. So the companies and stuff like that, they just let him do what he wants. They just trust him as a creator, and I just think he always nails it. Like
and he's
his own way.
He's focused, unlike your friend Tarantino, which is my big.
He's really focused.
Was I don't know. I mean that's a big debate really, but I mean I think. If I was a movie producer and I was an art indie movie producer, on the much bigger scale, we're not talking about small films, we're talking about big indie films, because essentially that's what Paul Thomas Anderson. Well, he's like the god of indie, isn't he? Basically,
the indie film. That's weird words now.
They are.
I don't know what that means anymore.
No, you're right. Yeah. Is it an indie film? I don't know. It's still backed by a big studio, isn't it? Yeah. Let's not go there. But he, as far as you go, I'd put my money on Paul Thomas Anderson to deliver. He would.
Yeah.
He can draw in a lot of different crowds, and he brings a lot of intellect, and it's not intellect that is like, I mean, I'm trying to think. The first film that comes into my mind, even though I haven't watched it, but I know you have, is The Square. I can imagine, because I've seen Force Majeure, that director's previous film. I can imagine. Great, I can imagine that kind of what The Square is, but it's a very select crowd.
I just think it's the creators. Well, probably more so. It's probably more so the companies in the backings and people and stuff like that. But I think it's just having respect for the audience. I think that's where it all comes down to, is that like what you need to say and what you don't need to say, exposition, all that kind of stuff. And I think Paul Thomas Anderson is one of those directors who's like, I can put in what I need to put in, and I'll trust the people who will come to watch this film, the people who like my stuff. I'll trust them to get it. You know, I'm not going to compromise my art to have big exposition scenes where people explaining stuff and voiceovers and all that bollocks. I think he knows that his audience will just go and they'll try and get it. And if they don't get it, they still respect him as an artist, to be like, well, that's Paul Thomas Anderson.
Yeah.
Even like Phantom Thread, the film about dresses, I was still like, oh, I can't wait to see that, because that's a Paul Thomas Anderson film. It's not like, you know, you see lots of films that come on the trailers and that you don't necessarily know the director is straight away. The casual viewer certainly doesn't. You want to go and see a film for whatever the film is. But I think people who love Paul Thomas Anderson, and obviously people who love film more and stuff like that, they want to see what the directors do. And I think Paul Thomas Anderson is one of those directors that you just trust if you're a fan. It's like, oh, he's doing a film about dresses. Okay, I still can't wait for that because he's making it.
100% agree.
Yeah.
I mean, I probably wouldn't have watched Phantom Friend. Phantom Friend.
Oh, no, what's that?
That's the sequel to Phantom Thread. That is in the Phantom Thread universe.
Phantom Thread.
Phantom Thread, if it wasn't... Okay, 2 reasons why I watched that. 3, arguably. A, Paul Thomas Anderson movie. Daniel Day-Lewis is in it. Leslie Manville's in it. But you're right. You did right. There's no way I would have watched that. You know what I mean? Like, if those 3 elements, arguably 2 elements, weren't there.
Yeah.
And
I might not have seen it, even with the cast. I think it was definitely Paul Thomas Anderson is what made me watch it.
Yeah.
Even with the cast, I could have missed it, I reckon. It's definitely not my favourite one by him.
No, but still very good.
Still very good, yeah. I just don't think you can knock him. Like, I think you can say, you more obviously can say that you don't like his movies if it's not your bag. Sound. I don't like those movies, yeah. But you can't say that they're bad.
Oh God, yeah. And I think that's a great way to wrap it up. Really, I mean, I remember, you know, I wanted to mention this at some point. This is the right time, really. I remember watching There Will Be Blood in the cinema, which I'm very appreciative and gratuitous for. And I remember seeing people walk out. That's a lovely word, isn't it? Yeah. Number 1 amount of walkouts I've seen in a film was Tree of Life. I don't know if you've seen that.
Yeah, I've seen that.
I fucking love that film, but I know you like it.
I like it.
Okay.
I don't know if it's a film.
Right, okay. You know what? In fact, I'm glad I said that, because on your note, right, you might not like that film, and most of the people I don't like, but I bet you appreciate it.
Exactly, yeah. Of course, because you gotta, like, if you're gonna have an opinion on anything and you want it to be respected in some form by another person, you can't be going around going, nah, it's shit. You know what I mean? Like, just like, you know better. Like, nah, Tree of Life, wank. It's like, no, but actually, but you did like, no, wank, it's crap. No, but actually, the nuance, nah.
Yeah.
You know, you can't do that.
No.
You've got to say, like, you know, people who don't like Tarantino, sound. I get it. I totally get why you don't like Tarantino. I'm not like, I've sound like an absolute fanboy.
I know. Oh, you really do,
he's
yeah.
He's just a good.
He's a good go-to director.
To you know, explain stuff. But you know, I totally get why people wouldn't like him. But you can't say it's bad.
No.
And if you do, you're wrong. You know what I mean? You can't say it's bad.
Joe's final thoughts there. Yeah. So I think that we've nailed everything really what we wanted to talk about. I mean, it just to sum it up really, we both collectively think, and you know, I mean, There Will Be Blood is probably the greatest film ever made. I mean, I can't. There's so much you could talk about. There's so much depth, but really, I mean, talking about it now for however long we've been talking about it and watching it recently, I don't actually think there's that much discussion. But that's good. That's good. I mean, there's a fair amount of discussion. Yeah. You know, if we were talking about Pulp Fiction, which hopefully we will do one day, expect a 5-hour episode because you can nitpick everything, but it's quite a simple film.
Yeah, it's fun to talk about.
Yeah.
Because it's so well crafted, you can just talk about it.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be filled with loads of stuff to talk about it because the craft's there. You know?
Yeah.
You can just appreciate it for what it is.
Yeah.
And if you can't, that's fine.
But you're going to say something a lot worse than that. Yeah, exactly.
So if you can't, then you're all shit.
that's more like it. It's more like it, Ickling. Okay, so we're going to wrap it up there. Thanks very much for anybody who listened to this. I've enjoyed this, Joe. Have you?
Yeah, man. Yeah, let's do more, definitely.
Yeah. Well, I mean, off the top of your head, like, what would you... I mean, you talked a lot about Tarantino. My suggestion for the next film, I'm actually thinking Kill Bill Volume 2. Would you think?
Yeah, man.
Why not?
Kill Bill Volume 2. I really want to do Kill List.
Okay.
I really want to do
everything with kill in the title.
Killing of the Sacred.
I've got to watch that one. Yeah.
That's I want to do that.
Yeah.
I'd like to do. I can't say his name, man.
Yanis.
The
Greek man.
Greek name. And
yeah, we're not uncultured, I promise you. You know, we're really not.
It's all just for laughs. I love all of his movies.
Yeah,
and I love to talk about them.
Yeah.
But I want to do some bad movies as well.
Yeah.
So if anyone is listening, and if it's in that kind of situation on the internet where you can comment on it, give us some suggestions on movies, good ones and bad ones.
Yeah. It'd be like an honest trailers thing. Tell us what to do, man. Yeah.
Or like controversial films as well, like some that some people love, some people hate. You know, I'd like some things that we've got contrasting opinions on.
Yeah, I think so, because this podcast is really like, oh my god, that would be bloody amazing.
Yeah. We love it. It's both love over movies.
Yeah.
What
was we talking about in the kitchen earlier? We mentioned something, then you were like, oh, Coco. But to anyone who's listening, Joe, did you hear that? Fuck Coco. He should be arrested for those comments, I think. But either way, I'm gonna have to get him to watch it again, which is hilarious.
Well, no, it's boring, man.
Boring. You heard it here first, people.
People trying to capitalise on change.
Oh, fuck me. Good job. Fucking hell.
No, I just thought the script wasn't as sharp.
Yeah, that's the polite way of putting it. Right, I've been Neil.
I've been Joe.
He's been Joe.
I still am.
Yeah, and we'll drink your milkshake.
Yeah, we'll drink your milkshake.
Yeah.
I drink your milkshake. I drink it up!